All right. Time to get the Deload week kicked off here. So I need to go ahead and update the log for today. Looks like 3:30 is still on the menu. Even for Deload, that's freaking crazy. It's pretty crazy. 3:30. So we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so we're moving up to 05. I think we're probably going to try to crank this one out pretty quick. May try getting in a game stream following the workout. Lots of stuff to play now. Kind of taking care of some things that I needed to get done too on some games. You can actually chill out. always a great feeling when you're honestly like lifting weights that used to be working sets, you know, your heaviest weights, and you're deloading with them. I think that's like the ultimate sign of progress, right? Because on your week that you're pretty much supposed to be recovering, not having the same intensity or volume, you're now hitting like what used to be hard. So like obviously you have your days where your peak performance and you're you know, trying to lift heavy, or you are lifting heavier than what you used to. It's also kind of crazy that weeks that you're like supposed to chill out, or like you know, weeks or like weights that were super hard not too long ago. So hitting 330 today, or like deload, feels really good. And it's actually heavier than I expected. I would have not guessed that I was supposed to hit 330 on, you know, my deload workout. Actually a little frightening. So I'm like, man, today will be a nice easy workout. And it's like, oh, holy crap, I gotta hit 330. But I know by the time I hit it, I'd be like, wow, that was not bad at all. And then it's almost like expectation wise, you can like sort of set yourself higher. So it's a little bit, you know, part of it is, you know, mental as it is like actually getting stronger physically. Definitely a mental barrier that you're overcoming and getting through as part of the process of getting stronger as well. For sure. I think that that aspect of things kind of gets underrated. Alright, now we are loading up 245 here. Need to adjust this a little bit. There we go. Alright. So yeah, good week last week, right? We hit the 365 bench. Also haven't streamed since then, but on Sunday we hit a 665 deadlift. So that definitely was above my expectations going into the session. Even like my best case scenario going into the session was Definitely not to deadlift 665. But we did it. All right, 245. Yeah, I honestly think like at some point I want to share this because this is actually something I kind of struggled with, right? Because obviously my deadlift programming that I've been doing the past like I don't know like 8 months, very unconventional, not like the standard, I would say, in terms of like what you think you would need in order to get stronger. So I hit like designated sets, like a top set of like 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, alternating, you know, for the full month. We'll do like sets of 2, and then I do back offs. But my back offs, right, like my volume is basically doing cluster sets. So I'll hit like 5 singles for deadlift at honestly a much lower intensity, and that's literally been it. And it's like been giving me some pretty consistent progress, and I considered like maybe I should, you know, try to start doing more. Like maybe I need to get more deadlift volume in, maybe I will yield more gains by switching it up and doing that. But then I was like, this is working, and like it's continuously working, it hasn't stopped working. Why exactly should I change it? I should change it once it stops working. Because the reality of it is that I think I hit my 635 honestly roughly like 4 months ago, and I had a very like narrow miss at 650, and then on Sunday I hit 665. So that's a 30-pound PR in like 4 months on my deadlift. At the level that I'm at, I feel like I shouldn't be complaining or trying to change things up if I get 30 pounds on my deadlift every 4 months. So like, yeah, sure, of course, at some point it'll start to slow down the more advanced I get, but following that logic, in a year's time, that would be 90 pounds on my deadlift. So I just think that like if you're making consistent progress, you shouldn't try to like push for more, right? If you're having good consistent progress, then you know try to equate that to what it would look like in a year or 2 years, and you'll probably realize that's actually a lot on your total. And you shouldn't change things, and you should just continue to do what works and be patient. Now, with a big thing, especially, of course, you know, when I was younger and not as experienced in lifting, I would literally just try to get on every single pound, on every single lift, and try to change things up all the time. And I think it backfired more than anything. a lot of the times. You know, whether it would cause an overuse injury or things to feel kind of sloppy at certain times, like technique-wise. Definitely something to keep in mind. Because what, 30 divided by 4? I don't know what that beats. 60, 24, 32. Like a little less than like 8 pounds per month. I don't know, that's pretty freaking good. If I can keep that up, that's insane. So I'm gonna keep trying it until it doesn't work. A little bit of like, you know, going on a rant, but even as like I've been doing this for a while, it was something I considered, and it's probably something that a lot of people consider. But I would say just like patience is definitely part of the thing. We can't all be like genetic freaks that were like ex-college football players turned into powerlifters that gained 250 pounds on their totals in like years. Power of small progress over time, building up to something much bigger in a year, 2 years time. So I'm trying to bite off, you know, more. If you're eating good already. Alright, so we loaded up 287, then we'll do 310, and then we'll go 330 after that. Oh yeah, 30-pound PR, and maybe like some people wouldn't consider that it was a genuine like 30-pound increase, because I did have that pretty narrow miss at 650, so I would say 20 to 30 pounds in 4 months. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'll just use these. Because I didn't have 650 the last time, but probably had for sure, you know, 640, 645. But if I didn't hit the lift, it's not a PR, right? And we can always like guesstimate, but I just always go off of what I hit and actually perform. But yeah, funny enough, you know, I actually initially went just to 650, and then at the top, I was actually starting to lose grip as I got to the top. I got to the top, and I really wanted to like hold it to lock it out. And I thought that I'd be able to, you know, I guess recover from it maybe at the top. But then I eventually lost it, and I dropped it. But it was pretty much, it was locked out, and it was more so like me holding it for an extended period of time. But I watched it, I'm like, man, I feel like I had more in me. And that was kind of like probably me losing grip because I just executed really poorly. So then I was like, you know what, today's about having fun. So we're gonna load up a little bit more. And even if we fail it, it's no biggie. Then we loaded 665, no grip problems. and it just went up. It was very cool. Definitely, you know, it's been quite some time where deadlift was like roller coaster of like feeling good, feeling terrible, frustrating, painful, irritable on my low back. And then now we just had like almost probably a pretty close to consistent year of training without it really, like my low back really getting in the way of anything. So that's pretty good. Really just like some discomfort, tightness here and there. But I kind of attribute that more now to like, I guess not moving as much on like my off days. Sitting in the chair. Of course, I think this summer it'll be better because I'll be out more. I don't usually do like my usual like walks during the winter because I don't like the winter. I don't like the cold. So we hit 287, next is 310, which we'll just load up the yellow plate since that's what we'll need for the top set anyways. Alright, 310 is what we are about to cook up here. YouTube live here. I'm actually surprised because the 365 pound like bench stream that we did last Thursday. Not that I've really been tracking like the number of viewers on my live, like my VODs, but it was actually one of the lower ones. On YouTube, that is. I think I uploaded it on Twitch as well, because I clipped my 365. I think you have to publish a video before you clip or highlight it. Alright, 310 here. I was kind of thinking about doing like maybe a Honkai stream after this. If I don't get conned into playing WoW. Got a lot of story to do with a new update. So I can start farming the new gear set. Pretty smooth, pretty good execution. Feeling kind of uneven today, actually, though. Take a look here. Not too bad. I feel like we're bench pressing a little bit differently than we usually do. But otherwise, nice and controlled, slow, decent. From here, 330. I don't think we can put exactly 330 on, so it's 332. So it's 2 pounds heavier. $332 is loaded up. Let's go, baby. Come on. Okay. We're deloading with 332 now. Maybe a bit slower. for a deload, but I think it can be like a little bit expected when you really shoot for like a max effort PR. You know, that deload might be kind of heavy. But you know, we're building momentum, we're building confidence in newfound PR. So a set of 2 at 310 now, which all we have to do is just take off the white plate. We deloaded with 332 now. Just like that. Now it's the road to 385. I wonder how long that's going to take. How long is it going to take me to get 20 more pounds? I'd really like to try to take care of some things like getting the elbow feeling really good. And then I kind of want to experiment with increasing bench frequency to 4 times a week. I really do want to do that. Even if one session is like just very, you know, relatively pretty low intensity, I think it might help. Which is interesting, of course, you know, because I just got done talking about, you know, if I'm making progress and like why change things up. It has been several months since the 360 that I hit, and then like the PR that I hit 365. And realistically, the day that I hit the 360, I could have probably hit the 365. I just wasn't confident in taking that attempt that day. So I would say, you know, in terms of the bench programming, it's a little bit on the stagnant side, not yielding as much progress, you know, maybe a teeny tiny bit. And, you know, like I said on previous streams, a lot of like, obviously the top benchers, the ones that are really good at bench press, are doing it, you know, 4 to 5 times a week. So I should consider trying it out, and I think I will, but I really want to make sure the elbow is feeling good again before, of course, you know, I apply more stress in my training to my elbow. But I do want to play around with that. We'll see if that yields some results. Give me more opportunity to stream too, like I said. More frequency on stream. Hang out. Alright, 310 for 2. How we looking here? am happy with this. Good block all around. Very good. Unfortunately, it was a weird like week last week, so I actually didn't even get to like hit a heavy safety squat bar squat day. But it just, in terms of like what we were trying to prioritize this block, squat wasn't super high up on the list anyways. Actually, what do I need to hit? Oh, 260. So it is what it is. And actually, it was probably like one of the very, very few days where I've actually just had to skip out on a lift. But it was very hard to like reschedule it to where it makes sense so that I could still feel really good for my deadlift day. So kind of almost thought of it as like me tapering off, right? To maybe make me feel better for my deadlift day. We'll see, you know, right? It's just, that's kind of like theory, but I may consider trying it out on the future on like blocks where my primary focus is deadlift. We'll see. Because I know there were some blocks where I actually didn't get in, like my belt spots, for example, week 4, for time constraint, whatever it was, and deadlifts were always like really good when it came time to do them. So, I mean, maybe. I wouldn't recommend, like, even to other people, I wouldn't recommend it all the time. Because obviously, powerlifting is not just about deadlift. If I really want to pop off on deadlift one block, maybe I would consider it. And I don't know, it makes me really want to like keep safety squat bar squatting because the deadlift progress has been insane, and I kind of want to like cross off things on my list, right? Like hitting a 700-pound deadlift. So I suppose the worry is that I reintroduce low bar squats and it's more taxing than the safety squat bar, so then my deadlift takes a hit. I don't know. I'm not much of like squat's not my favorite lift. Deadlift is, maybe some bench too. As a matter of fact, I actually really prefer safety squat bar squats because I think they feel really good. Like from a biomechanics standpoint, for my leverages, but it is what it is. I still have to low bar squat because that's what you, well, I still have to just barbell squat because that's what you do in competition. Most people cheat on squats to pretend they're actually doing something. I'm assuming you mean like people don't hold it to like a higher standard, so they're like squatting high. Is that what you're referring to? Because yeah, I would definitely agree that's you know the case. Well, yeah, you know, it just never really been my favorite lift. I don't think at all. Uh, Deadlift, like, if you can't lift it, if you can't execute the lift, you just drop it on the ground. You don't have to worry about anything. Like, nobody has to be there spotting you. Like, you just pick the freaking weight up off the ground and then you set it down or drop it down. What's better than that? And bench is just like that bro lift, and like you don't really need, like, I don't really need a spot for that generally either. Like maybe a couple times a year, and those lifts just feel good. Squats, like if you have I guess like longer femurs in relation to your torso, your upper body, they're probably not gonna, you know, feel super comfortable. But you know, maybe that's just my bias, my personal opinion. Not a fan of all the fakery and powerlifting. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'd say that's fair. And I even tell people, you know, when I see new people in, or like there's a lot of viewers in, you know, I just preface like this is just how it is in the powerlifting realm. So like, yeah, I have an arched back when I'm bench pressing. I'm trying to reduce the range of motion so that I can lift more weight. That's just how it is. Like until there's like better standards, or you know, better rules, then I'm obviously gonna, you know, take advantage of it just like every other competitor. And that's sort of like a side example. Of course, there are just some lifters that, you know, from a skilled standpoint, can like arch their backs more than others and whatnot. Yeah, for sure. I've seen my fair share of ugly squats, you know. And I've been there too, right? Like, I'm not a saint by any means. You kind of get caught up, obviously, in trying to get stronger and push the most amount of weight. You don't really care about, you know, how you're doing it, but I think like you're best making progress with with sound biomechanics. If your hips rise first in the squat, that's probably not a very good thing. Hips rise, chest drops. You're probably going to be using a lot of low back. Form and technique's definitely important. Of course, I will say too, it's not always the lifter's like ill intention to do that too, right? Like movement is complex and it's a learned thing. So you can't just tell somebody to use more legs in their squat and then suddenly, they try to do that and it works out in practice, right? So somebody who's squatting and maybe using more lower back than they should, it's gonna be hard to. It's like it's what they say. What they say is like it's easier to learn something for the first time than unlearn and then relearn, right? So I'd say that's a pretty good comparison with like lifting technique and lifting form. It's not something that they can like change right away, right? They probably perform hundreds of reps with that same technique, so it's going to be hard for them just to immediately, do it different. Especially under, considerable weight. Like, sure, maybe people can squat 135 with better form than what they're used to performing closer to their max. It's just how it is. It's like instinct. You're gonna perform the exercise that you're most comfortable and got the most reps performing that certain way once you approach your max. So it takes time to change movement. Of course, there's different approaches to it that I think sometimes there are some poor approaches than some that are a little bit more pragmatic. Alright, last set of a double here at 260. But I see what you're saying. Just want to play, devil's advocate and, help people understand that some of those things are hard, especially when you are pushing the envelope and trying to get stronger. At the same time, it can be hard to change movement. Alright. So yeah, I mean, for Deload hitting 332, that's still pretty insane to me. It was maybe a little bit slower than I would have liked it to be for Deload, but nonetheless, I still think reasonable. Trying to decide what we're gonna hit for accessory wise. I know we're gonna do some dumbbell tricep extensions. We might leave upper back for Thursday. So it might just be some arm blast and stuff today. And make sure to clean up some of the weights a little bit. Just be sort of prepped for next session. Load it up. Okay, so, man, what could we? I'll leave back for Thursday. That should be fine. So we'll do tricep extensions, some dumbbell curls, and then some lateral raises, I think, for today. And of course, chat, if anybody has any questions, comments, drop it in the chat. And actually, if you're a new viewer, welcome in. All things fitness, specifically powerlifting, rehab, pain injury related, since I am a chiropractor. We dive into those topics on occasion, and then the combination of those topics, right? Training in pain, you know, how to still train even though you're having or dealing with an injury or some pain. And the occasional gaming stream, a variety gaming. I'd love to get some more people in for those. Also need to move the bench over here a little bit more. Hopo is coming around though, for sure. I know I've made progress when like I've had a couple days of like maybe not super good variables, some really bad sleep, feeling like drained and tired. Even on the days that I'm stressing the elbow really good, it's feeling better. What about everybody else? Anybody else getting a workout in today? Take off my glasses for this so I don't rush my glasses. So yeah, chat, I think unless I get conned into playing something else with the boys tonight, we might do Honkai Star Rail stream after the workout. Got some story to do. I also need to do some gear crafting on Epic 7 because it's been a minute. I've collected a decent bit of crafting materials. I need to do that. I would say, like, we've stacked up a lot of really good blocks in a row. We're feeling good. We're feeling ourselves. Especially with deadlift. I think that's a good energy going into the summer. Usually, like, I think I've just noticed that training kind of sucks a little bit more on those bad days during the winter. No sunlight, no warm weather. Feeling good going into the summer. Continue to set some PRs. Work hard, build some more muscle. I actually need to check my body weight because, you know, after I got sick, I noticed that I was down in weight, whether it was from being sick or just like a caloric deficit over an extended period of time, or both. Kind of went pretty close back to what we were sitting at, but I haven't checked in probably like a week and a half. I need to make sure that's still on track. So I think 2 sets is good for this Deload workout. And I know I said elbow is feeling good, but we want to make sure get good rest, and so that it's feeling really good next week. So there is that. Maybe we'll move this around here. Perfect. Alright, so now we got some lateral raises, and then we'll pretty much be ending things up. An hour is where we're at, not too bad. Some good work in an hour's time. Man, I need to get back to playing some more Grand Blue because I finished the story and that's kind of where I stopped, but you know, some other things took precedence. Getting everything done on Lost Ark, leveling the WoW character to 40. Not a WoW Andy, but I've been playing some WoW. You know, with some friends that enjoy it for some reason. I gotta make sure to level up raid log, show everybody up, then enjoy whatever other games I'm playing at the time. Alrighty, everybody. I think that about covers it for the workout, so I'll hang out for a few minutes. Of course, if anybody has any, last minute comments or anything, feel free to drop them in the chat. And we'll end it momentarily. And like I said, gonna close out and then maybe see about doing a Honkai stream, or maybe I'll do an Epic 7 one. I don't know. We'll have to see. Need to lots of stuff to do. Lots of stuff to do. Or, of course, let me know if there's any, specific content that you want to see. Drop it in the chat. All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and close it out. So thanks for popping in for the workout stream. And then, like I said, I will post in the Discord if I go live for some gaming. Of course, you'll see it if you're also following on Twitch. Just another way to get notified. And I'll see you there. And if not, on Thursday should be the next workout stream.